Now, Ottawa police are also bracing for the arrival of a rolling thunder protest. Hundreds of motorcyclists are expected to arrive in the city this afternoon.
For more on this, we are joined now by CTV Ottawa's Jeremie Charron. Jeremie, thanks for joining us. We know that the motorcyclists are expected to arrive today. Have they arrived yet? Are the police out? What's the situation where you are?
I wouldn't say they've arrived yet. We've seen a few motorcycles start to roll through, but certainly police are here. There's a heightened police presence in the downtown. We're standing in front of the War Memorial right now, which we know protesters have made it clear they want to make a stop here. Now, we're also in what's called an exclusion zone. So police and the city have worked together to set up this exclusion zone. The Centertown area in front of Parliament Hill, the Byward Market, the War Memorial behind me are all part of this exclusion zone where protest vehicles will now not be allowed in. That means if you're taking part in the protest, you have to park outside of this zone and walk in. You won't be allowed in with your vehicle. And we saw a clear example of how seriously police are taking this just maybe half an hour ago. A truck made its way through this area, honking deliberately, causing a little bit of a scene. And within moments, that truck was pulled over by an Ottawa police officer and pulled off to the side of the road. So certainly they're acting quickly here, and they're taking this very seriously. So local traffic will still be allowed in here in this zone. People can walk through. People are still being told they can come downtown, but they're going to be very strict about what kind of vehicles are allowed into this exclusion zone here in the downtown.
Jeremie, I wonder, beyond the policing, I wonder how residents in Ottawa that you're speaking to are feeling about this weekend. I mean, we saw, of course, what they lived through for 3 weeks in February there. What is the sort of mood in Ottawa right now, knowing another protest is rolling in the next, several hours?
Yeah, there's certainly some frustration. I mean, you hear all sides of it. Some people aren't too worried about it. They hope that they're just going to come in and move out. But there are some frustrated residents, some concerned residents that certainly were bothered for almost a month long during the last Freedom Convoy. There's a group gathering today, actually, in Sandy Hill, which is just outside of the Byward Market, outside of the Centertown area we're in right now. And they're like counter-protesters. So they're gathering to show that they don't support this. They're totally against it. They don't want this, and they're frustrated with it. So certainly there is some unease, some worried residents here in the downtown this weekend.
And Jeremie, are you getting any more insight onto what exactly these motorcycle protesters are protesting? They did put out some kind of statement saying, quote, this is to retake the National War Memorial, but what exactly does that mean?
Yeah, unfortunately, not much clearer of an answer than you're giving us there. So we've tried to get what we can from this group. We know that there's a few different groups involved making their way down here. One of the clear points, as you mentioned, is they want to kind of retake the War Memorial. They're not happy with some of the things that happened here during the Freedom Convoy. So they plan a ceremony, a stop here tomorrow. There's going to be a rally on Parliament Hill. But what their clear message is, what it is they're protesting, specifically what they're against, we don't have an answer to that, unfortunately. We'll continue to monitor, we'll continue to try and get answers to those questions, but it's still unclear exactly why protesters are coming here.
Yeah, also, Jeremie, last time around, it cost Chief Slowly his job as head of the Ottawa Police Chief Department. So this time around, it seems like police are taking this much more seriously. Is there a much more visible presence of police? Because we heard earlier this week that some 200 additional RCMP officers were being made available and others are sort of on standby. Is that much more evident in the streets, or is it more just blockades?
Well, it's certainly evident right now that there's a heightened police presence in more than we saw early on in the Freedom Convoy. That's for sure. We didn't see this much of a response this early on. We know that this is not supposed to last more than the weekend. Police have said they're prepared to do everything they need to. But certainly we've seen a heightened police presence. We've seen groups on foot patrol. We've seen groups on motorcycles. A few barriers, blockades have been put up in specific areas. I saw a vehicle from York Region, a police vehicle from York Region. So there is support from outside of the city as well. We know there's OPP involved, Ottawa Police, RCMP, and a few units from other areas in the province. So certainly it seems evident already this early in the day, and we haven't seen motorcycles arrive yet. It seems as though police are ready for this. They're very prepared, and they've got this plan in place, including this exclusion zone we're in right now, where they're going to make it very difficult for protesters to come in and out. With vehicles, at least.
All right, Jeremie, it's certainly something we'll keep an eye on. CTV Ottawa's Jeremie Charron joining us live here this afternoon. Thanks, Jeremie.
Thank you.